Hello, my name is Fleetus Poston, and I'd like to talk about a topic that I get asked about all the time. How do I break into cybersecurity? So, in the next 10 or 15 minutes, we're going to talk about ways you can break into this field. If that's going from a community college, a boot camp, a 4-year program, or you're transitioning from a different line of business, such as finance, marketing, communications, education. All of these are possible ways to break in. What I'd like to let you know is no route is the same. Each and every person that I've mentored, worked with, worked beside, hired, or been managed by all come from a diverse background. My first CIO was an accountant. I have hired music majors. I've hired communications folks, and I've worked closely even with mechanics who have transitioned into the cyber field. So anything is possible with the right attitude, mindset, and aptitude. So we'll spend the next little while talking about ways to break into cybersecurity. So to understand why you want to break into cybersecurity, we first need to understand what is cybersecurity. At its core, it's protecting your information, your data, and your system. We want to ensure that the organizations that we work for, and including our home networks, are protected against cyber attacks and threats. At the end of the day, your primary goal is risk management. You're there to protect your organization from inadvertently sharing sensitive information, having a accidental insider attempt where data is exfilled or shared inappropriately through email, Slack, and also making sure that you have systems up and running, maintaining the system integrity. For those who've been around the field, you've likely heard of the CIA triad, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Those three words cover a good bit of what cybersecurity is, drilling all the way down to risk management. There's diverse roles inside of our field. When I say cybersecurity to you, when I'm talking with friends and family or out in the public, the first thing they think of is a threat actor or a hacker or red teaming or pen testing. While that's an important field, it's not the only role. You need to think of cybersecurity as like a city. You have janitors all the way to your mayor. Cybersecurity is the same way. We have entry level positions that are your analyst, either your security operations center analyst, your governance risk and compliance analyst. You may have a systems engineering analyst. You have entry level roles that require you to start low. And then you move into your juniors, your seniors, your leads, your staff positions, and ultimately up to your CISO or CSO, so your Chief Information Security Officer or your Chief Security Officer. Both of these are high level leadership roles that encompass all aspects of cybersecurity. So, my challenge to you is to think, where can I fit into these when I'm trying to break in? Because my ultimate goal for you is to protect data, which starts at home. Each and every one of us have connected devices in our home. Take time learning how those work. Harden your wireless network, changing the default password to something stronger. Make sure you've set up multi-factor authentication on at least your email by setting up a long passphrase. These are great ways to start doing security. Security is not my job, it's what I do. All of us in the organization are responsible for security. I just happen to have security in my title. So hang with me as we dive into this and unpack the world of cybersecurity and how you can break into it. So I've already briefly introduced this, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about career paths within side of cybersecurity. So you're asking, Fleetus, how do I get an entry level job? I've been looking at job postings, I've been talking, and all of the job recs require 2 to 3 years of experience, several industry certifications. How do I get this years of experience if you not will not hire me? How do I get these certifications when I haven't broken into the field? It starts with networking. As I said in the previous slide, it starts at home. Start hardening your home environment. Most of us, if you're like myself or others I know, you run a small business in your home. You have up to probably at least 20 connected devices in your home if you're a family of four or more. You have a phone, a tablet, likely some streaming devices, some Internet of Things devices, and then maybe even a desktop, some laptops that are all connected to your home network. That makes you a small business when there's 20 connected devices. So start by securing them, protecting them, and enabling them. Build out a lab and document that. When you build out your resume, talk about how you've protected your home first, because security starts from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep. Entry level jobs, as I shared on the previous slide, are ones that you can transition into. So, for example, you're a public school teacher or in communications. An easy job to switch into would be a governance, risk, and compliance role. You can come in and help write policies and procedures. You may even be able to join your security awareness org by running their security awareness training, building communications, building memes and stories and gamification from your previous knowledge of how did you educate the K-12 or how did you send press releases when you were inside of comms. PR folks can do the same thing. I alluded in the first slide, maybe you're a car mechanic. You have a good attention to detail, but you're tired of working long hours on your hands and knees and you need a break. So you decide you want to take the analytical skills that you have with tearing apart a car engine and apply it to cybersecurity. A good role for that would be a detection engineer or a systems engineer, a cyber systems engineer role where you're deconstructing the application or building logic to look for rules, just like you would doing diagnostics on a car. It all comes down to the aptitude and being curious. That is the best way to get into an entry level role. So get to know folks, build your network, and get to do a networking. Have someone in your corner who can help you break into this field. Because once you get that entry level role, you're going to want to move around. You are not going to know what role you want to do right off the bat. You may think it's a security operations center analyst. Maybe that's not for you. Maybe you think you're offensive and you want to do pen testing. Maybe that's not for you. It simply could be you like working tickets. You may want to be a help desk analyst and you want to move back into IT and not stay in cybersecurity. Or as you move up, you're going to want to architect something. You're going to want to be a designer. So you're going to want to be an engineer or an architect because you have that ability to sit down and see the big picture and work from end to end processes. Maybe your ultimate goal is to manage, be a people leader. We'll want to move into a security manager or a chief information security officer. All of these are pathways for you, and it starts with being curious. And it starts at home by protecting your home network and protecting the devices that you use day in and day out. So you may have guessed it now. There's certain skill sets that make you a better security analyst. And I'm here to say it's not the technical skills. I hire first for soft skills before I look at your technical skills. So Fleetus, why do you do that? I can teach you and train you and get you the proper technical skills. But if you don't have the right mindset to be humble, to be curious, problem solving skills, you're going to burn yourself out because you're going to be chasing something that you're not able to succeed at. So while technical skills are important, as you can see on the slide, I've mentioned several of them, such as networking, your operating systems, programming, understanding cryptography, and other toolings from the endpoint all the way to the network. Those are helpful, but they're not the most important for an entry level role. I want curious folks. I want people who can think outside the box, who can be good problem solvers, who can try to solve problems creatively. Then I can teach you the tools. Because to be honest, as an entry level individual breaking into the field, you're not going to know all about an endpoint detection and response tool, such as CrowdStrike. You're going to have limited knowledge to corporate networks that have thousands of endpoints and sensors. You're going to understand basic routing protocols, such as TCP/IP, and understand ports and protocols. but you're not going to know how they work in large VLAN, virtual LAN, so local area networks until you do them. So while technical skills are important to me, your soft skills are just as important. So when you're interviewing, highlight them, include some of them on your resume. I don't need to see a paragraph of soft skills, but include how you go about solving problems creatively and how you remain curious. List all your technical skills. Again, you'll probably notice my theme here. Where have you applied these skills? Have you volunteered your time at a nonprofit and set up their workstations and helped deploy antivirus or endpoint protection products? Have you done any programming? Have you wrote any code or scripts to solve basic problems? Start a GitHub repo. Put your projects in there. Blog about what you're doing. Do YouTube videos showing how you've done things and add them to your portfolio to share with your future hiring manager. All of these are important skills. So while it's important to learn tools and technologies, it's important to remain humble, to remain curious, and to be willing to use your soft skills to help you break into this field. So how do you build your portfolio for cybersecurity? First, many of you, it's through formal education. You've went and got an IT, a mathematics, or a computer science degree, and recently universities started adding a formal cybersecurity degree. That's a great way to start your portfolio. Some of you can't afford to go to a four-year school. So the next best option would be doing boot camps or getting industry certifications, such as your certified cybersecurity with ISC2 or your Sec Plus with CompTIA. These are great ways to start building rapport. And then the hands-on experiences. Have you participated in a capture the flag event? Have you built a home lab? Document what you've deployed in your home lab. Have you put in a Raspberry Pi with Pi-hole to do DNS sinkholing to protect your environment? That's a project you can outline and you can share. And then networking. I cannot share how important it is to have a professional network. Set up a LinkedIn if you do not have one. Start following 3 or 4 organizations that you want to work for. Visit their company website and learn their mission statement, their core values. Monitor their social media feeds to see what they're sharing. Have they recently got new series funding? Have they released a new product? Have they served a local community through a community service opportunity? And then watch for new hires. Watch their job posting. Many people, when they start a new role, will go to LinkedIn and say, I've started a new role. This is my title. This is the company. If it's one of the 3 or 4 companies that you're interested in, go ahead and connect with them. Send them a message and congratulate them on their new role and ask if you can stay in touch. And then check in with them after 30 days. Say, was the first 30 days what you thought they would be? Make a rapport with this person and then periodically check back with them. Comment on their posts from those companies. Like their content. And with the person that you've made contact with who started the role, periodically ask them, would you work here again if the job came open? Why or why not? You can learn their security culture or their company culture that way. You could ask them, what do they wish they knew today on day one? Getting a better understanding of how to position yourself. So when a job opening does come and you've been talking with Joe or Sally, you can reach out to them and say, here's my resume. Can you hand it to the hiring manager? Most hiring managers, such as myself, with an internal reference, I'm likely going to set up a phone screen or at least a quick call with you just to learn more about you. This is a great way to get your foot in the door and not get your resume kicked out by the ATS systems when you apply. It's important to utilize your network. So build your portfolio with training, either formal or informal. Practice with capture the flags or home labs or volunteering your time to apply your skills and continue to network both online and in person. Attend local meetups, volunteer at conferences. These are great ways to get yourself out there and be positioned to be hireable when you're ready to break into this field. So now let's talk about how to land that first job. We've alluded to a little bit in the previous slide of connecting with 3 or 4 companies and knowing what they are. So do your research. Make sure you know what jobs are open in the area that you live in, if they're hybrid or remote or fully on site. Research if they're identity based, so is it your IAM? Are they governance and risk based? So you know what skill sets to apply when you break it into the field. When you go to apply, make sure you tailor your resume to the job description. As I alluded in the previous slide, many companies use automated systems to review the resumes before they're seen by a human. So if you don't tailor your resume, you may get kicked out because you don't score high enough or the formatting is incorrect. Pay attention to the requirements prior to submitting your application. And when it's time to interview, make sure you understand who you're interviewing with. As a hiring manager, the questions I love to ask is why my company and why now? I'm wanting to know if you've taken the time to research the company that you're applying for. Do you know what our values are? What our statements, what we're up to, what we're developing, what sector we work in? And why now is a great question to explain what you've been doing to build that portfolio. I've been building home labs. I'm now ready to apply it in the corporate or commercial world. Be prepared to answer those questions. And then when it's time to negotiate, understand what the rate is for that role. Understand the range. Many states now are disclosing the salary ranges and the expectation. Most importantly, negotiate benefits. Pay is just one thing. Understand what their paid time off looks like, what their health care looks like. Do they have volunteer hours? Is there commuter benefits? Is there technology benefits? You want to understand total compensation, not just your salary when you go into negotiations. So keep these things in mind when you're landing your first cybersecurity role, and you'll be set up for success. So you must stay abreast and stay ahead by being a continuous learner. Myself included, I've been in this field for almost 20 years now, and I'm learning something new every day. So as you're working to break in, set up new feeds. Find podcasts to listen to on your commute or when you're working out or when you're out in the yard doing work or when you're walking your dog to help learn the vernacular and the lexicon that we use inside of cybersecurity. We like to talk in acronyms. Alphabet soup is important. So learn what these terms mean and how they apply. Seek professional development. Attend workshops. Get those certifications. Go to those networking groups by staying active in the community. Network, network, network. Attend as many events as you can. Many of them are open. Make connections, stay in touch with them, and just ask for someone to mentor you. Mentorship is another way to stay ahead in cybersecurity. I know something as a subject matter expert, so I can pass it on to you. You breaking into field, bring diversity, there's something you can pass along to me. So get into our reverse mentorship and be willing to stay engaged. Attend the meetups, volunteer, and continue to give back to the community as you're working to break into cybersecurity. Keep pressing on and keep learning. Well, let's wrap this up now. Cybersecurity is a growing field. It's very young in the grand scheme of things. We've started with just IT with information systems. Then we went to information security. And now we have the term cybersecurity. It's a challenging field, but very rewarding. But it requires you to have the right skills, the right mindset, and the right experience to stay in this field. You have to be willing to learn and grow every single day and push yourself. It's going to be challenging. You're going to stretch yourself in this field. So embrace that, dive in head first, and help build the next generation. Because many of us have been doing this and we'll be starting to phase out. We'll start retiring. We'll want to pass the torch to the next generation. So we're looking for you, yes, you, to step in. I'll be the first to admit I am looking to hire my replacement. I want to train up the next generation who can come in and continue to help this field grow and tackle the new emerging technologies from machine learning, artificial intelligence, and even the word that no one likes to talk about, quantum computing and quantum cryptography. These are terms we're going to have to deal with inside of cybersecurity. I hope you found this presentation thought-provoking. For those who are looking to break in the field, please connect with me. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm on X. I'd love to help you with the research and tips I've shared in this presentation. Additionally, if you found this beneficial, like and subscribe. I post daily shorts Monday through Friday around relevant cybersecurity topics. Most of them are food for thoughts. I'll continue to put out presentations such as this weekly, and I would love for you to join my cyber banters that I do Wednesday nights. But until then, stay safe and stay secure.